My favorite definition of money comes from Jonathan Randolph Price, and he said, "Money is my own natural energy yield. It is what is being created from the currency that is inside of me. If I'm low vibration, then my bank account's gonna stay on low. If I'm high vibration, then my bank account's gonna be up. My own natural energy yield." How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Good. So most of you know me as Mr. Multifamily, but I want to start with my highest identity, the one that never changes, and that is I'm a child of God. So I need y'all to repeat after me. I am a child of God. I am a child of God. Abundance is my birthright. Abundance is my birthright. I am rich and righteous. I am rich and righteous. So, yeah, that's something to affirm. So normally you would know that I would speak about real estate, but Lamar had me speak about something different. He wanted me to share the mindset that allowed me to manifest at the level that I've been able to manifest at. Not only in my own personal life, but also in terms of the multifamily movement. Where's the multifamily movement at? Y'all in the building? There we go. Where my rich and righteous readers and buyers at? Where you at? So I knew that in order for you to listen to me online, I had to demonstrate for myself first. But really what's allowed me to manifest at the level that I've been able to manifest is actually my money mindset. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is how to master your money mindset. And we're going to go into detail about the unseen. We're going into the unseen realm. I could teach you the material realm, how to buy real estate. But it's the unseen realm that actually manifests and actually results in what you actually see in your life and what you experience. So y'all down for that? All right, cool. So I'm not even going to go into a lot of my accolades. You already know who I am. But what I've done is that I'm seeking to create the wealthiest family in the world. And I want you to be a part of it. And what do I mean by that? That means that I'm looking to help 100,000 people achieve at least $1 million in net worth, which would make us $100 billion. Today, that would make us the 5th wealthiest family in the world if we could aggregate that. And so that is my 30 to 50 year commitment. I don't think it's going to take 50 years, but I'm focused on that. And the way I'm doing that is I'm doing that, one, through black wealth. That's the first problem that we have. And you see my work with the multifamily movement. The second aspect is black love. Once we become wealthy independently, we have to find out how to find each other, right? We have to pass on this generational wealth to the next generation. And then thirdly is through black spirituality. We have to change our relationship to God. Many of us have been brought up in the churches, and they've actually cut us off from the true source and going directly to God ourselves. And so we need to re-examine that, because the version of religion that we have today has actually come from our slave master. So these are the 3 problems that I'm seeking to solve, and what I need you to know is that your wealth will be directly proportional to the size of the problem that you solve in the world. If you solve small problems, you're going to have a small bank account. So ask yourself, what is the size of the problems that I'm solving? Bill Gates is wealthy because he solved some big problems. Elon Musk is wealthy because he's solving big problems. Jeff Bezos is wealthy because he's solving big problems. What is the size of the problem that you are actually solving? Because your wealth will be directly proportional to that. So this is my actual real estate portfolio. This is what I've been able to build and manifest. I don't need to spend time here because you already know that I am the PowerPoint. Once you understand that the greatest currency is not outside of you, but that it is inside of you right here every single day, then you won't start chasing all these different business models. Oh, let me start a tour over here. Let me start an Airbnb over here. Let me do this over here. You're chasing assets outside of yourself when you are the asset. There's no greater return that you will get on your investment than investing in yourself. And so this is just the outward manifestation of me actually investing in myself. So before I go forward, you can follow me here if you're not already doing so, right? I'm at Jullien Gordon on IG. And then I also want to just give you this in advance. Many of you don't have Rich and Righteous yet, and I want to give this to you in advance. I want to give you the first 2 chapters right away. And so you can go to Too Rich to Quit. How many of you are too rich to quit? What you up to in this world? You can go get the first 2 chapters there, and those are yours. The first 2 chapters alone will blow your mind, all right? So, you don't have a money problem. You have a mindset problem. You see, money is in the material realm, and you're trying to solve your money problem in the material realm. But in order to solve something in the material realm, you actually have to solve it from the mental realm. As above, so below. You were focused on the problem on the below level. But if you actually went to the mental, then you would realize how the mental is actually connected to the money. And so that's where I want to take you today. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So your financial situation is a reflection of your actual thinking. Now, of course, you've invested in yourself to be here, and the financial life that you're experiencing right now is a reflection of your old thinking. This weekend, you are getting new thinking, but it's going to take time for that new thinking to harvest in your life. But some of you get so impatient that you start digging up the seed that was planted here this weekend, wondering why it's not growing. Because you're impatient, but guess what? God doesn't operate on time. Time is a man-made thing. For some of you, it's going to pop off next week. For some of you, it might take a month. For some of you, it might take 6 months. For some of you, it might take a year. I quit my job January 9th, 2009 at the bottom of the last recession. So what you see of me online is a manifestation of over 13 years of me being committed. What are you committed to for at least a decade? Do not start it if you are not committed to it for a decade, because you will not see its full harvest. If you are looking for a business or a get-rich-quick scheme, it will not come to full harvest unless you know that you are committed to it for at least a decade. So that's where we need to start. I wasn't born into wealth. I was born into the middle class. But what I realized is that the middle class is not wealthy. Especially if you were born into poverty, you're like, oh, I just want to be in the middle class. I want to be in the upper class. But I realized that there's 4 classes of people in the United States. There's the lower class. There's the middle class. There's the upper class. But then there's only one class of people who's actually free. And those people are in the asset class. Everybody say asset class. We want to be in the asset class. You know that there's Fortune 500 CEOs that make more money than me but aren't as free as me? When you're in the asset class, your passive income is greater than your cost of living. That means you no longer have to trade time for money. Somebody who's in the upper class who has a big paycheck, they're still on the plantation. They're still on the plantation. See, you thought that slavery was over. Slavery's not over. Just because you don't see shackles and chains anymore, slavery is still here. It's called modern day slavery. And it is mental and it is monetary. I'll prove it to you. You know what this is made of? This is 75% cotton. So most of y'all are still out here on the corporate plantation picking cotton every single day and you didn't even know it. The greatest trick in slavery is to make you think that you're not in slavery. It's now mental now. You don't even know. So how many of you want to get free? Y'all don't sound too excited. You know, there's a million ways to make $1 million. All kinds of ways to make money. But what I found is the best feeling in the world is actually being paid for your purpose. There's no greater feeling to be used by God and then to be supplied by God to continue being used by God. The greatest prayer in the world is 3 words. It's be me, God. Be me, God. Be me, God. Be me, God. Say that with me. Be me, God. Be me, God. Be me, God. I just want you to use me. Not my will, but thy will be done. So the reason some of you aren't manifesting at the level that you desire is because you can't give wealth strategies to a poverty consciousness and expect them to grow. They won't take root. You watching all kinds of YouTube videos, you in the Facebook group, right? And you're trying to get all these wealth strategies, but where are they landing? They're landing on a poverty consciousness. So all these great ideas And even your $1 million ideas, they're great seeds, but they're planted in rocky soil. And that soil is your conscious and subconscious mind. So we need to till the soil first before we start going and looking to receive seed. So your mindset has stopped millions from making millions of dollars. Mindset has stopped millions from making millions of dollars. All right? So almost everything that you've been taught about money, as Lamar just said, is absolutely wrong. In fact, almost everything you've taught is actually the opposite of what you've been taught. See, you thought you've been looking at money the right way for a long time. You think you're looking at the world clearly through your perception. But what is shaping your perception? Your mind is shaping your perception. And so you think that the crack is in the windshield. The crack is not outside of you. The crack is actually in your perspective. And when the crack is in your perspective, then of course you're going to see a crack in the windshield. So you think there's something wrong with the world or something wrong with your life when there's nothing wrong with what's happening in the world. It is a perfect reflection of how you think. It is done unto you as what? As you believe. That's scripture. So everything that you're experiencing is based on your perception and what you believe you shall be experiencing. If you don't believe abundance is your birthright, then guess what? It won't be your birthright. If you believe that money is hard to come by, then guess what? Money's going to be hard to come by. If you believe that the struggle is real, then guess what life's going to be? A struggle. So, many of us are blind financially. We don't see money through the right lenses, and we have to change that perception. All these things that you've been taught about money, from cash is king, the hardest worker wins, the highest paid person wins, money is the root of all evil, salary is security, work for money, time is money, a single family home is an asset. All of those things are wrong. In fact, it's the opposite. Cash is not king, cash is pawn. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. It only yields 0.03% in your bank account. Assets are queens. Then those queens lead to kings, which is cash flow, and those kings lead to pawns. And in the game of chess, you will happily sacrifice a pawn to get another what? Queen. So in the financial game of chess, you will sacrifice cash to buy more assets. You thought that a salary was security, a salary is really just slavery. When they have you on salary, now they can work you 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week, and you can't say anything about it. See, if I'm working hourly, after I get to 41 hours, they start paying me a time and a half. When I'm working hourly, when I leave my broom at work, my broom stays at work. But when I'm on salary, guess where my work is following me home? So when you really divide how much you're getting paid after taxes by the number of hours you're truly working, you'll realize you're making pennies. So almost everything you've been taught about money and success is absolutely wrong. And in fact, again, it is the opposite. So I want to give you a real life example of what wealth consciousness feels like. How many want to feel what wealth consciousness feels like? We got to tap into the vibration first before we actually experience it. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths in. And what we do is we in heaven. I don't want to inhale. I don't want to take hell in. I want to in heaven. Then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to release that which I do not need. So we're going to do 3 breaths right now, right? We're going to take in for 4, hold for 1, and then we're going to release for 5, all right? Everybody do it with me. Inhale, in heaven for 4. Hold, release. In heaven for 4. Hold, release. In heaven for 4. Hold, release. With 1,000 of us taking in breath right now, did any of you worry about where your next breath was coming from? Even if there was a marathon running outside right now and 3,000 people were running in that marathon, would you have worried where your next breath was coming from? Well, wealth consciousness is when you relate to money in the same way you relate to oxygen. When you don't worry about where your next dollar is coming from because you know that you are aligned with the creator that created you and you know that your needs will be met. That is what we're seeking to elevate to. Many of us are operating on the ground level right now, okay? On the ground floor. If I'm at the Empire State Building and I'm trying to solve my money problems down here, I can't see that much because I'm surrounded by big buildings. So what do I have to do? I have to elevate. I have to go up in my level of consciousness, right, to be able to see New York City. And now I can see more possibilities. Why? Because I elevated in my consciousness. See, allegorically, when the quote-unquote devil takes Jesus to the top of the temple, he's not talking about a building. He's talking about elevating to the top of the temple. Everybody point to your temple. From here, from your mind, you can see what's yours. This is where possibility lies. This is the temple the entire time. Your body is the temple. God dwells in temples not made with the hands of man. You are the temple. God is dwelling inside of you. But you've been convinced that the temple is somewhere else. It's a building outside of yourself. And you also have been tithing to the wrong temple this entire time. What would your life look like if you were tithing to this every single month instead of to that? So how do we get to this place where we allow this flat, green piece of cotton to control our entire lives? Where this now dictates all of your decisions. How do we get here? This is not how it should be. We are not supposed to be serving this. It is supposed to be serving us. And so we have to turn the tables. So the first question we have to ask is, what is money? What the heck is money? Right? What is money? Basic question. My favorite definition of money comes from Jonathan Randolph Price, and he said, money is my own natural energy yield. It is what is being created from the currency that is inside of me. If I'm low vibration, then my bank account's gonna stay on low. If I'm high vibration, then my bank account's gonna be up. My own natural energy yield. All right? Money is just stored energy. It is useless unless you use it. We are meant to multiply it. As good stewards, our job is to transmute it into ideals, ideas, individuals, and institutions that we believe are doing good or God's work, and we must be mindful not to let it become our God. They tricked you when they put that on there. Why would you put in God we trust on money? Because now they have you worshiping and bowing down to money every single day. Money dictates most of your decisions every single day. When you go to the restaurant, you order from right to left. You got to look at the price first before you can actually choose what you want. Instead of just saying this is what I want and knowing that I have enough money to supply me here. Second question we have to ask ourselves is, where is money? Where is money? If I want some of it, then guess what? I got to know where it's at, correct? So if we look at this bedroom, where is the money? How much money is in this room? How many ways did people get paid off of this one single bedroom? How many ways? You see sheets, you see paint, you see windows, you see light fixtures. But listen, pause. What are the unseen things in this room? Where's the architectural blueprint that was done to create this room? The electricity, the plumbing. What's behind the walls? The interior designer, who's no longer in the picture, but you can see their imprint left on this room. How many ways did people get paid just off of this one single bedroom? So what does that mean? It means that money is everywhere, family. Y'all not convinced, I can tell. I'm gonna work with you, it's okay. We got some work to do, we got some time. I see my clock. Money is everywhere. You just have to grab it with your mind first before you can grab it in your hands. And the more Your eyes and perspective opens up to the realization that money is all around you at all times. It's as an invisible currency until you can make it tangible and real. Once you start to believe that, you will see that there's opportunity and possibility everywhere at all times. Who wants to be a millionaire? Dang, some of y'all don't even want to be millionaires. What y'all just trying to get six figures? I'm going to ask that again. Who wants to be a millionaire? Okay. Y'all already violating scripture. Psalms 23:1 says, thou shalt not what? That was a trick question. Thou shalt not want. When you want something, you stay in a state of wanting. Instead, what you have to do is you have to accept the reality that you already are a millionaire. The money just ain't showed up yet. So I want you to repeat after me. Everybody stand up for this. I am a millionaire. I am already a millionaire in my mind. I may not see it yet, but I believe it now. In the same way, a seed is called by its finished form. I'm accepting my divine inheritance as a child of God. I'm meant to have life, and I'm meant to have it more abundantly. My treasure on earth shall correspond directly to the treasure in the heaven of my mind. Abundance is my birthright. Ashe, amen, and so it is. You see this package of seeds? When you go buy seeds from Home Depot or Lowe's, they do not put seed on the package. They put the finished form on the package. Now, there are seeds in there, but you have to hold it up here long enough for it to manifest into its finished form. That is what belief is. Belief is what holds the initial vision into the actual manifestation. That is true faith and belief. And so this practice of entrepreneurship is a practice of belief. It's one of the greatest spiritual practices that you can ever endure in and engage in, is actually becoming an entrepreneur, taking something that is unseen until it becomes a reality. Now, you said you wanted to be a millionaire. I just want to make it clear to you that there's 7 different types of millionaires. I'm not going to go through them all, right? But there's an earn a job millionaire. Because guess what? $20,000 a year for 50 years, guess what? That's $1 million. So when you were praying and you were speaking, you want to be very clear about the type of millionaire you want to become. Because you are likely going to make $1 million over the course of your lifetime. There's the home equity millionaire, the paper equity millionaire, the cash savings millionaire, the company or job revenue millionaire. Some of these people online, they be capping. Oh yeah, I made $1 million in my business last year. Wait a second, is that revenues or is that profit? Because if your profit margin is only 5%, you only made $50,000. Now I'm happy for you, but don't come out here talking about I made $1 million when you didn't take home $1 million. So myth number 1, money is the root of all evil. Okay? Money is the root of all evil. That's myth number 1. It's actually love and lack of money is the root of all evil. Love and the lack of money. You think more crime has been done because of lack of money and the love of money? So we need to get to the truth. Think about how we talk about money. We've been taught to think of money as this evil thing. Watch some of the language. Disposable income. Disposable income, that means that I think about money as waste. That is something to be disposed of. I got to blow money. I'm making mad money. It spoils. When a pirate finds a treasure, they call it booty. These are the words that we use for money. We know there's life and death in the power of your tongue, but guess what? There's also wealth in your words. And the way you speak about it can actually be repelling it from your reality. Now, if you believe that money is evil, right? Filthy rich, I'm broke, dirty money, money laundering, root of all evil. In this dualistic reality that we live in, we say if money is evil, then no money is what? We think of no money as good. No money is good. It's righteous. It's noble. It's virtuous. It's Christ-like to have no money. The reason Jesus may not have needed any money because he was so tapped into the Mother, Father, God that he didn't need to carry anything because he knew all his needs would be met wherever he was. That is true wealth when I don't have to show it and carry it around to prove to anything to anybody. I know that my Father runs Abundant Bank, and anytime I need something, I can go tap in. I don't need to carry it around. I don't need to drive it. I don't need to show it to you on Instagram. I know where my source is. So, speaking of fancy cars, this is how I used to see a Ferrari. I used to think about it as a waste. I was in LA at the time, and like you'll never be able to drive that on the 405. It's just traffic. What's the point of having a fast car when you're on the 405 in traffic, right? Waste of money. He probably just got divorced, right? I would think all these negative things about this car. As Lamar said, money don't have no beliefs about you, but you have beliefs about money. And you could see them coming out in my thought processes and my language, okay? So many of you want to be rich, but subconsciously you hate rich people. You want to be rich, but you hate rich people. So somehow you're going to become rich and you're going to be the only one in that group that's just a good person. That's where Occupy Wall Street had you twisted. They made the 1% evil. Not everybody in the 1% is evil. Guess what? I'm almost in that 1%. Am I evil? I'm good, thank you. So this is some of the stuff that's happening on the subconscious level. So we have this car, it's $250,000. What if I change my perspective about how I see this demonstration of wealth? I know that this car has now employed 4 people at Ferrari. The engineers, the manufacturers, the manager. The purchase of this car has now actually created 4 jobs. And those people are now able to go feed their families. I should be clapping for the person who bought the Ferrari. They felt free enough to still circulate $250,000 into the economy even when it was quote unquote a recession. And just because I didn't, I shouldn't look at them with jealousy. Just because you clutching on to your $25 doesn't mean that we shouldn't celebrate them for dropping $250,000. And in fact, what freezes economies and what leaves us in recessions is not the people who are spending the money, it's the people who are hoarding the money. And some of them are in this room. When you holding your money tight in a little savings account, you are now a hoarder. You are stopping currency from having a current. And when enough people do that, we end up in a recession because everybody is living in fear. This person who bought the Ferrari is not living in fear. I celebrate their abundance mindset. So how many of you would do more good if you had more money? If that's the case, then guess what I want for you? I want you to have more money. Because what people who have negative intentions don't have, they don't have any holdups about money. People with ill intentions who are after money for selfish reasons, they don't have any hang-ups about money. For some reason, us as the righteous, those who are seeking to do good, not only for ourselves, but for others, we have some hang-ups around money. And we got to get rid of those hang-ups. So we never want to affirm that I am poor. We never want to affirm that. See, how many of you were born into poverty? See, poverty is an external condition. And an external condition never truly articulates your identity. But when you say, I am poor, now that becomes an internal characteristic. We know the power of I am. So when I say I am poor, I'm accepting that as my identity. But if I was born into poverty, which is an external condition, that does not make me poor. Two different things. And I'm going to free some of you who were born into poverty and didn't have abundance straight out the gates. The reason you were born into poverty is actually to prove how rich you are. Paris Hilton can't prove how rich she is because she was already born into wealth. But the reason you were here is you said to God, take away any financial resource. Put me down there and watch me show you how rich I am. Jay-Z said, put me anywhere on God's green earth and I'll what? I'll triple my worth. Take away everything from me. Put me anywhere and I will triple my worth. In fact, we here as black people, you know what we told Creator? We said, take away my land. Take away my culture. Take away my language. Take away my spirituality system. Take away my family. Take away my body. And watch me still win. In karate, what is the color of the lowest belt? And what is the color of the highest belt? You are simply on the hardest level. You being black does not mean that you are lower than. It's actually the opposite. It means that you were actually chosen to be on the highest level of this earthly experience. So, as above, so below. If I am a multimillionaire, is my daughter a multimillionaire? Yes, she is. She's my child. So, if you are a child of God, of the Most High, the infinite supplier, Jehovah Jireh, provider of everything, then what does that make you? How could you be poor if that is your mother, father? The only way is that you don't realize who you are. You've forgotten who you are, or you're not ready to receive. See, many of you are strong givers, but you haven't developed the other muscle, which is receiving. These two muscles have to be balanced, or else you're going to be imbalanced. This is why some of you feel burned out. See, when it comes to business, you need two models. You need your blessing model, which is how you give your gift to the world, and then you need your business model, which is how you receive back. You have to have both in tandem in order to create the abundance that you are seeking to create. So my core belief is that abundance is your birthright. Myth number 2, you must work hard for money. This is one of the biggest lies in the book, okay? You must work hard for money until your money works harder for you than you work for it. So as Lamar said, yes, there are phases where you have to step on the gas and you have to lock in. But that is not the end game. Because if that was true, then guess what? Day laborers would be the wealthiest people in this country. They work harder than all of y'all. Out there in the California sun from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. picking whatever fruits you ate in your salad today. So if it was really about hard work, then they would be the wealthiest, correct? But they're not. In fact, they probably earn the least. So this can't be true. So watch this. If you think about what you want your hourly pay to be, let's say you were stepping into being a consultant, or you think about your active income, or your passive income, or your net worth. What do you want it to be 12 months from now? In fact, write that down really quickly. What do you want your hourly pay as an entrepreneur to be? I want to charge $300 per hour. What do you want your active income to be in your business? What do you want your passive income to be 12 months from now? And what do you want your net worth to be 12 months from now? I need you to write those numbers down just quickly. How much you want to charge per hour? What do you want your active income to be in your business? What do you want your passive income to be from your real estate investments, et cetera? And what do you want your net worth to be 12 months from now? Now watch this. Will you get, let's say you want a 10x where you're at right now. Will you get there by working 10 times harder? Wait, I thought it was about working hard. You're at $100,000 a year right now. You're trying to get to $1 million. That's 10x, right? You're working 60 hours a week right now. Let's just multiply that by 10 and work 600 hours. Wait a second, there's no 600 hours. So I don't get to $1 million from 100,000 by working 10 times more hours. I can't get there. It's impossible. Will you get there at your current job? Will you get to your goals 12 months from now at your current job? No, why? Because they have this thing on you called the salary cap. Means that no matter how well you do, you can't get past here. You got to wait for somebody above you to die or somebody above you to approve of your greatness. Will you get to that goal by saving money? No. So how will you get there? I believe that you're on the best path right now, which is entrepreneurship. It's you tapping into the creator inside of you. So financial freedom, again, is where your passive income is greater than your cost of living, right? And so this is ultimately where we want to be, because what I know about financial freedom and why multifamily real estate investing was so important to me is because once I reached rent and mortgage freedom and full freedom through multifamily real estate investing, meaning that the rents that I had coming in and the cash flow I had coming in from my properties covered all my living expenses, it allowed me to walk in my God-given purpose without having to worry about money. Even if I stopped right now, all my needs will be met. But when you are a child of God, you don't just stop. Freedom for me isn't kicking my feet up on the beach and doing nothing for the rest of my life. Freedom for me is being able to walk in my God-given purpose and serve as many people as possible without ever having to worry about money doing so. How many of you have been with me at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday reading Rich and Righteous? Every single day I'm able to show up just off of love to support people in transferring their money mindset, right? This is where we want to give from, not give from a place of scarcity. So these are the wheels of fortune. The wheels of fortune operate as such. In the beginning, you have to work hard. This is I'm employed, I'm self-employed, and you have to bust your ass, okay? And you see that this cycle is clockwise because you will be trading time in the beginning. But the ultimate goal is to activate the other cycle, which is where your money is employed. See, some of you are great at making money, but you're failing at your second job, which is making your money work for you. As Lamar said, my employees are Franklin, Jackson, Hamilton, Washington. He said, no Washingtons, ones, right? These dead presidents are my employees, but I don't want to leave them dead. My job is to resurrect them. You are here to resurrect dead presidents. You are not supposed to just let them be lazy in your savings account. You have to put them to work. Many of these presidents on these dollar bills were slave masters. You think I'm going to let a slave master rest easy after what he did to my ancestors? I'm going to put your ass to work. So, the second circle is counterclockwise. Because now, when you're buying and building assets like a business, you actually start getting your time back. This is why it's counterclockwise. And you keep going through this cycle until your passive income is greater than your cost of living. But initially, just like moving a stalled car, it's going to take effort. It's going to take time and energy to get it going. But once that momentum is there, Now you can put in people and systems in place that allow your business to keep producing money for you without you trading time for money. Okay? Myth number 3, banks are the safest place to put your money. Listen, banks are actually the worst place to put your money, and I'm going to show you why. Scripture says, Matthew 7:6 says, don't cast your pearls to swine. Now, when you were young, where did they tell you to put your money? In a what? They were programming you since you were a little kid. They were training you to put your money in a piggy bank. And what is a pig? Pig is swine. What is your money? Those are your pearls. You've been giving your pearls to swine. It's all right there. If you could see the allegory and the story in that book, it's all right there laid out for you. In fact, 13 out of 39 of Jesus' parables were about money because we knew that how infectious money could be if it was not understood properly from a spiritual perspective. And so we have to think about it differently. This is how I saw banks before. That it was this safe place to put my money. Don't want to put it on my mattress because if my house catches fire, then I lose all the money, right? So I'm going to put it in this big old vault. But now this is how I see banks. They are robbing you. They are robbing you. The plexiglass is there not to protect them. It's for them knowing that once you realize what they're actually doing, how mad you're going to be. Everybody say, I am a bank. I am a bank. You are lending your money to Bank of America at 0.03% interest rates. You cheap. You a cheap date. Then they are loaning it back to you for a 30-year mortgage at 7%. That's almost, I think, a 200% return for them already. But guess what? Then there's the fractional reserve banking system. So they only have to keep 10% on deposits. So they now multiply that 200% return by another 10. So that's a 2,000% return for them on your money. Big bank take little bank. In real life. You've been allowing them because you didn't know what to do with your money. You didn't know how to multiply it. You just said, here, you take it. You hold it. You keep it safe for me. But you're allowing them to rob you. I want to teach you the rule of 72. This is how you know how quickly your money will double. So what you do is you take 72 divided by the return you're getting on an investment, and it'll tell you how many years it'll take you to double that investment. Okay? So if we have a 10% return on something, it would take me 7.2 years to double my money. So if I invest in a piece of property with $100,000 and it has a 10% cash-on-cash return, it's going to take me 7.2 years to turn that $100,000 into $200,000. Make sense? So here's what's scary. 72 divided by 0.03, which is what Bank of America is paying you at your savings account, is going to take you 2,400 years to double your money in a savings account. Y'all think it's funny, but y'all still got bank balances. They laughing at you. What you laughing at? They laughing at you. See, a boat is safe at the dock, but its true purpose, why it was designed, was to be out at sea. Your money is safe in a bank account, but its true purpose is to be out in the world doing something for you. So we got to get it out of the banks and into the world. When you look at the S&P 500, a lot of you have your money in the stock market, and I'm praying for you. Because you're getting hit pretty hard. Your 401k is, woo. I was going to retire 10. Do you know what the average rate of return on the S&P 500 was over the past 22 years? About 4.76%. So the stock market, which you thought returned 10% every single year, the actual average rate of return is only 4.76% over the past 20 years. So that's not a safe place to put your money either. And then when you look at these companies, right, their profit margins, even a company like Apple or banks, the banks, obviously, they're winning, right? You see them 26.9%. But these companies that you're investing in outside of yourself, instead of your own company, even their profit margins aren't that great, right? So overall, the market is producing about 8.89% return. So what can you do with your money? We have a checking account that leaves you with no return, savings account with 0.03%, home equity 2.6% on average growth, 401k 4.46%, stocks 4.46%, undergrad education is about 7%, businesses 8.89%. Those are not that great. So many of you are afraid to invest in yourself because you got burned by liberal arts education. Shakespeare ain't helping you that much right now, is it? So you need to know the difference between liberal arts education, which costs you, and liberation arts education, which frees you. But some of you are afraid to invest in liberation arts education because you were burned by liberal arts education. I've invested more money in myself, in my temple, after college than I did during college. So why do you think I have the wealth that I have? Because I kept pouring into this temple. I kept tithing into this temple. So are you trying to get free or not? That is the question. If you are able to invest in yourself, let's say that yourself has a 50% rate of return. You put that $100, that $10,000, that $25,000 back into yourself, and now you're multiplying money through yourself, nothing outside of you. This is why you are the greatest rate of return. Everybody say, I am the table. I am the table. Stop looking for assets outside of yourself. The only reason, I want to tell you, the only reason I invest in real estate, even as Mr. Multifamily, is when I don't know any additional ways to invest in my business that year. Everything initially goes back into my business, right? And then any excess that's left over, then I dump that into real estate. I would actually prefer to continue to replicate and multiply through myself as opposed to any external asset. And so you are going to get the greatest rate of return on you. Some of y'all have your money with Charles Schwab and you don't even know where to find this guy. You couldn't even pull up on him right now if you wanted to. You just trust in all these other people to grow your money when the greatest nurturer and grower and gardener of your money is you. Myth number 4. I need to make more money. Julie, oh yeah, I want to make more money. That's not it. Does anybody in here work for the Federal Reserve Bank? Anybody in here? If you do not work for the Federal Reserve Bank, then you will be doing an illegal act if you try to go make more money. Please do not reprint any money. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to attract more money by understanding what money wants. The money is already out there. I told you money is everywhere. Now your job is to actually attract it into your life. We can't actually go make money. So a lot of you say you want more money, right? Please tell me, point to where you see the number more on this line. Please, somebody tell me where they see more on, you want more money, where's the number more? Where is it? You want more money. That's what, how many of y'all want more money? Oh, y'all don't want to raise your hands now because you know it's another trick question. You want more money, but more is not on the number line. So you have to get specific about what you want. You have to get specific about what you want. More is not a goal, family. More is not a goal. I want to reach $10,000 a month in active income. I want to reach $5,000 per month in passive income. Those are specific goals. And here's why this is important. Especially as you're building your business, you go to an investor and say, hey, you bump into me in the hallway, Jullien, I know you're an accredited investor, things of that nature. I just need more money for my business. Will you invest in me? What? I need to know your game plan. I need to know what my rate of return is going to be. And I need to know exactly what you need it for down to the penny. That's what an investor is going to ask. So here you are asking God for more money, right? But you don't even have a specific reason you need it for. You want more for your own security. Do you realize that you having more money for your own security is actually financial insecurity? You are insecure. So you need to see a large number in a savings account so that you feel secure, but it's actually financial insecurity. Financial security is when I'm given more and I have immediate use for it. If I gave many of you $1 million right now, besides paying off some debts and some student loans, you wouldn't know what to do with the rest of it. You would have $800,000 sitting. So what that proves to me is that you don't need more. The reason why you don't have more is because you don't really need more. You're actually comfortable where you are, even though you won't admit it. If God were to give me $1 million right now, I have immediate use for it. I know exactly where it would go. This is why God continues to supply me as a steward of this inert spiritual substance that we call money. Because I have a real need for it. You don't have a need for it. You would pay off some debts and the rest would just sit. And we know that the goal of currency is not to sit. The goal of currency is to have a current. It's to be put in use. So what that means is that you don't have a vision board or a vision that's big enough that it actually requires you to be a millionaire. This is why you're not a millionaire. Your vision doesn't require you to be a millionaire. All your vision board has is a few vacations. You don't need to be a millionaire for a few vacations. You don't need to be a millionaire to have a Mercedes. You don't need to be a millionaire to have that 5-bedroom home. This is why you don't have $1 million, because you don't need it. You want it, but you don't need it. So how would you use more money in a way that does more than just serve yourself and your immediate needs and your immediate family? How would you use it beyond your blood? Okay? Yes, you have to take care of yourself first. Then you have to take care of your immediate family. Then you have to take care of your larger family. But if we're all God's children and we're here to support each other, you have to know who it is that you're serving outside of your bloodline. Your wealth is not going to come from your bloodline. Okay? Many of you come from weeds. But I'm here to make sure that you become the most fruitful branch on your family tree. How many of you are committed to becoming the most fruitful branch on your family tree? So much so that that tree will be renamed after you. You will always be known 100 years, 200 years, 300 years from now as the matriarch or patriarch of that family, not the people who left you with nothing. All y'all did was have kids. But you left nothing to those kids. You were living for yourself. There's 4 ways to leave your legacy. Baby bodies, that's easy to do. You can do that in 5 minutes if you're not careful. Then there's your body of work. Then there's institutional bodies. And then there's your body in service to other people. How many of you did vision boards this year? Y'all know it's another trick question, huh? The secret taught y'all wrong. You realize vision boards, if you don't use them carefully, they will continue to remind you of the absence of what you say you want. This is why some of your vision boards aren't manifesting, because you look at it every day and it reminds you of the absence. The goal of a vision board is to remind you of the presence, that it is already here, that is already coming to you. It says, thy kingdom come. When you call an Uber, you don't have to go anywhere to get the Uber. You ain't running to go catch the Uber. It is coming to you. So a vision board is supposed to remind you of the presence of it, but when some of you look at it, the energy that you look at it with, you look at the absence. Oh man, that's the man I want, but man, I ain't had a date. And that's the house I want, but I still don't have it. Oh, I wanted to go to Bali, but I don't have enough money. So some of your vision boards every day are reminding you of the absence of that thing. The other thing about vision boards is that they are selfish. Everything on your vision board is about what you want. Me, 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 me. Your vision is limited to just you, the person you see in the mirror. But when you think about the world's wealthiest people, their visions encapsulate a whole bunch of people. How many people is Bill Gates serving? How many people is Elon Musk serving? How many people is Jeff Bezos serving? Some of y'all got Amazon Prime packages on your doorstep right now. But your vision is only about you. You want to know what the real secret is? Because the Secret movie didn't cover this. They just said, go get some magazines, some glue sticks, some scissors, and pay some stuff, and it'll all come to you. You want to know what the real secret is? Service. Oh, y'all don't want to serve? I just gave y'all the key. It's service. Service to other people. This is the secret to your wealth. How can I be the greatest servant possible? Once you're able to answer that with your business model and your blessing model, then wealth will come to you. So here's a little bit deeper. Stop going after what you want. Instead, you help others get what they want. And once you help enough people get what they want, guess what you'll have? You'll have everything that you want. Multifamily movement. Our conference in 2020 was 110 people in New Orleans. Last week, 2 weeks ago, at the Georgia International Convention Center, we had 1,500 people fill up the Georgia International Convention Center. We continue to expand as a family, right? Continue to serve. Market meetups happening all over the country, right? I actually have to update this number. As of today, we've helped 683 people close on multifamily homes all across the country. Almost $250 million in real estate acquired by my students. I've committed to serve beyond just my immediate family. This is where my wealth comes from. It is the level of service that I have. My vision board, it doesn't have cars on it. It doesn't have houses on it. My vision board has characteristics and attributes that I want to have within me. Because my being shapes my doing, and my doing shapes my having. So I focus on my being, who I am and how I show up in my presence in the world. And I know that when I am in alignment with God, then all the things, right? Because this is Matthew 6:33 says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. And then what? All these what? Things shall be added unto you. But some of y'all are chasing the things right now. And this is why you don't have what you desire. Because you're chasing the thing instead of trying to be in alignment with your God-given purpose. When you're in alignment with your God-given purpose, you realize you can never fail. You can't fail. You worried about failure. Some of y'all worried about failing at this entrepreneur thing. Guess what? If you are in alignment with your creator, why would your creator create you for a purpose and then not give you everything you need to succeed? How cruel of a creator would that be? So, the $1 million question is not what do I want? The $1 million question is what does money want? Have you ever asked that? What does money want? If I knew what money wanted, wouldn't it make it easier for me to attract money into my life? Right? So how do I become more attractive? I'm not talking about attractive in the mirror. I'm talking attractive energetically. Energetically, how do I become more attractive to this thing? So a lot of y'all out here trying to chase the bag, and you're running after it. When you run after a cat, it runs away from you. Instead, you want to stop paper chasing, and you want to get clear on what the thing wants so that it comes to you. So this is why we have to understand money from an energetic level so that we stop chasing money and it naturally becomes part of our experience. So myth number 5 is making millions is about the idea. No, it's not. Because many of you have had $1 million ideas, but you're not millionaires yet. And then you see somebody on Shark Tank with your idea, and you're like, they stole my idea. No, they didn't steal your idea. You didn't act on the idea, so God gave it to somebody else who was going to take action. Nobody stole your idea. You had 2 years to sit on it, and you sat on it. It's about the individual. So you have to get clear on the skill set that you are mastering. We heard Malcolm Gladwell talk about the 10,000-hour rule. What have you committed to mastering for 10,000 hours? When you look at the best conductors in the world, you see that they have the most number of compositions. What are you producing at that kind of rate? What are the first 3 letters of the word prosperity? Pro. So if you want prosperity, you have to become a pro at something. Most of y'all are not a pro at anything right now. You haven't mastered anything. This is why you aren't seeing the abundance that you desire. So you have to identify the skill set or the subject that you are going to master and that you are going to give to the world, right? So I want to wrap up, and I want to say this. There's a story in the Bible where they are giving offerings to the temple. And there are people who have money, and they're putting their offering in. And then a woman, a widow, comes in with 2 small coins, and she puts them in to the offering for the temple. And Jesus stops and says, this woman has given her all. She put everything that she had in, and her offering is greater than those who had plenty and just gave from their plenty. She gave from her poverty. She was all in. She was all in. Some of you are playing defense with the money that you have when you actually have nothing to defend. That little $12,000 in your account ain't something to defend, family. But you playing defense around $12,000 when you're trying to become a millionaire. Well, I need to protect this little $12,000 over here. The only way that $12,000 is going to expand is if you actually send it out to go do work on your behalf. But again, where did I tell you the temple was? It was up here. She gave everything she had to the temple. She invested in herself. You stop tithing to the temple, and you stop your blessing. So, I need 4 people who gave their last penny to make sure that they were here because they know that their life was going to be transformed as a result of being here. I need 4 people who did that, gave their last penny to be here. They don't even know how they're going to pay rent on February 1st. If that is you, I need 4 people to come up here right now. Where are those books?
Okay, we have our 4.
Applause, family?
Thank you. We have our 4.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Can we give it up for them, please? So, the way you expand and multiply your money is you invest into your temple. This is truly heaven. Church and religion has convinced you that heaven is after you die. Anybody who's convinced you that heaven is after you die has got you on the wrong path. We're meant to have life and have it what? More abundantly. And the kingdom of heaven is where? It's within and it's right here and right now. It's in our midst. It's not somewhere later after we die. So we invest into the temple, which is our heaven. Heaven is the greatest good you could see for yourself and for others. And our job here is to bring heaven on earth in the material realm. All right? And so with that, I want to say abundance is my birthright. Abundance is I am a child of God.
A child of God.
I am a child of God. I am rich and righteous. I am rich and righteous. Heaven on earth. H-O-E. This is your whole season, y'all.